Did you start it?
Yes, I started it.
Okay, come on.
Okay, get over here.
I know, we need a little remote
I
control.
know, right? Click, a little Bluetooth, click. All right. All right.
You don't have to say 3, 2, 1. Just get
Yeah,
into
just
it.
into it.
Yeah, start.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the previous videos. In this video, it is coming to you for free, and we're going to give you some tips coming up, so stay tuned for that. It's coming up. So anyways, we want to tell you thank you so much. We appreciate everything that y'all are doing out there as far as sharing, commenting, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So what else?
It's been really humbling as we've seen people share it and seen the interest that it's taken, and we really do want to tell you that we appreciate it. It has been very humbling. I know that second morning when I looked at it, I just was in tears because just of the way that people have responded to it. So we really just wanted to tell you thank you.
Yes, and just to kind of recap a little bit about what Marriage with Grit is. Marriage with Grit is going to be coming up, and it is a video course online. And we saw the need for young ranching couples and even older ranching couples that have been married longer. Mm-hmm. We saw the need for a marriage video course that would speak to them, a study, something that they would be interested in, and that would speak to their way of life. We get to be around those kind of folks in the Western way of life. We have those folks in our life and we're raised in that kind of lifestyle. So we really wanted something and put something out there that spoke to them.
Yeah, and some of you, I know you don't really know us, but maybe we have a mutual friend, so you liked the post or whatever. But I'm Norma, this is Wendell, and we've been in ministry here for a while in Alpine for about 10 years, but youth ministry before that. So about 18 years altogether. We get to counsel couples together quite often. And we get to, like Wendell said, we get to go out horseback with some folks. Wendell, of course, grew up in this lifestyle, so you might want to tell them a little bit about that.
Just grew up in, I can remember at times being on horseback, early on in my life, being able to buy my first horse for $2 from my granddad. And so, and riding early on, gathering livestock, being part of that culture and heritage, and so thankful that I was able to grow up in that way of life. And, going on into that, as we got into ministry, I saw the connection between that lifestyle and ministry and those opportunities out there. And so that's why I became a cowboy pastor and started ministering that way and saw that connection for sure. So,
So today, this isn't the actual videos for Marriage with Grit. That is coming up, like Wendell said. But today we wanted to give you something that you could take away. So we wanted to share with you how to immediately make your team stronger. Meaning this team right here.
That's right.
The three of you.
There we go.
But that team right there, how to make your team stronger.
Definitely.
So you
Husband and wife.
want to get rolling with
yes,
that one?
we can do that. In the Word, Matthew chapter 19, verses 4 through 6, it says, "And he answered and said, Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female? And said, For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate." I love that last verse about that joined together, husband and wife. Let no man separate, and that's what we're talking about today in this video is to start thinking that way.
Well, and I think the first thing we can do, number one, on how to make your team stronger, is to start saying we and start saying us instead of I or me. I think we're really caught in a trap these days of just thinking of ourselves, and it's all about me. Like, what am I going to miss out on? I got to get my way. So it is so much better as a team, and it's going to help you a lot, the two of you, if you can think of things as a team.
Definitely. So number two is, do your part and your responsibility. Within that team, we know what it's like in the Western way of life, Western culture, horseback, we know what it's like in the pasture. Together, a bunch of livestock. Together, cattle. We are put in a place, and we have our responsibility in that gather, in that drive. And if we lose sight of that, then we've let the whole team down. We have let that team of men and women that are out there with us gathering these cattle and to do a good job, and we have let them down because we have let our responsibility go. So with that, drawing that parallel in our marriage, personal responsibility, we need to take that more and more. So number one is we. Number two is that personal responsibility.
Yeah, and I think also we need to always keep growing. We need to personally grow in our faith and our walk with the Lord. We need to grow and learn about this right here, this marriage, and how it's supposed to operate. And we need to grow together. Definitely. I mean, there's nothing better than learning something together and putting it into practice, because, you could talk about something all you want, but until you actually start doing it and applying it. Mm-hmm. But growing together has been, I think, huge for us. And we've been able to do that in a whole lot of different avenues. And so that's a really good one.
Definitely. So that's the third one, is to grow personally. 4 is to... consult each other in those decisions, big decisions. Just recently, we met with a couple that was going through some things, and one of the persons in that couple had done some things without even consulting the other, and so it's important that you consult each other on those big decisions, because that's that teamwork again. We're going back to thinking about us versus just me. What do I want to do? Whether it's selling a vehicle, and you're
or going to buy one.
Or going to buy one. There you go.
Look what I got, honey.
Woo, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So don't be doing that. Go to each other, be that team, and consult each other in those decisions.
Mm-hmm. I'd also say look to God and then first, and then your spouse, before you look to others. I mean, like when you're having a disagreement or something, it's probably not the time to go tell your mother, your dad, your friends. Go first to God, talk to him about it, and then the next step would be go to your spouse and work it out first. And because sometimes we give our in-laws or whatever the wrong impression of our spouse, so it's really important to try to work out those differences with each other.
Yeah, you can hear that conversation. Mom, you can't believe what he did. No.
Or if she's glaring
right,
at him
exactly.
the next time she sees him.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
So that's number 5, is look to God. Number 6 is...
I get to do this one.
Oh, yeah.
Woo,
you get number 6.
Yeah, because you're going to do the next
That's
one
right.
to the guys. So make your work fun. I mean, whatever you're doing together, make it more fun and lighthearted, because you get more energy that way. We were talking about this on people that we like to come and help us work.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always like... Well, it's always like the fun guys. The guys that are handy too. I mean, you
Sure.
got to get the work done. You can't just be, having fun. But there's so many guys that we ask to help that are both. They're a good hand, and they make it light. They make it fun, and then it just makes the whole process a lot easier. So you can do that too as a team in your marriage.
Yeah.
Make things funner and more lighthearted. It really will go a long ways.
For sure. So last thing we want to leave you with is number 7 is, I want to speak specifically to you men out there. I want to encourage you, regardless of where you're at, regardless of, if you're in a hard place with your marriage, with your wife, guys, and if it's good, even if it's good and y'all are getting along well and y'all are growing in your marriage, regardless of what side of that equation you're on, whether it's good or bad, I want to encourage you, because your wife will follow your example, and that example is looking like making sure that you're seeking God, personally, making sure that you're being the leader that He's called you to be, because in marriage that's important. Your wife is looking to you for leadership, and I know that sometimes people get the wrong impression of that. And I'm not talking about some kind of master-servant relationship. and taking that word out of the Bible that's submission and twisting it in such a way that isn't exactly what God wanted for that word. But I want to encourage you as a man to lead your family, and to start today. Start growing in your relationship with Christ. Start leading your family, making those decisions, because she's going to see that confidence in you, and your relationship is going to grow better and deeper and stronger. And she's going to see the difference in you. And just I want to encourage you. You can do it. And again, good or bad, even if it's good, you still can lead your wife well, and she wants you to do that. So that's my encouragement for you, man.
That's good.
So,
okay.
Closing up.
Yeah, so closing up, I wanted to ask a question. There might be some out there saying, why should I take Marriage with Grit? Well, I'm not in trouble. Maybe they're thinking, well, my marriage isn't really in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how would you answer those guys or gals out there?
Yeah, because a lot of times we hear, well, my marriage isn't in trouble. Well, it doesn't matter. If you still need to do those things and place those things in your marriage to help it grow better and deeper, and just it's something that you need to constantly work on, and not in a tedious, oh my gosh, I got to do this. No, but just a sense of continuing to grow and put those things in place and in practice in your marriage. So that's the thing.
And the other thing I'd like to say is, sometimes there's posers, and I don't know if you want to address that a little bit, but, I think in our way of life, it's easy to spot one, don't you?
You bet. You bet. I know you guys out there, you can, man, some of you hands, I'm telling you, y'all can spot a dude coming a mile away. And that's not to knock the dude, because we all got to learn. And even if you're a button, you've got to start learning someplace. And if those people are actually seeking to learn, that's different. But you know what I'm talking about. Those guys that ride in and they put on that persona of, I know what it takes, and I know what it's like, but then you get to see them work, and it's like, oh gosh dang, they don't know nothing. Getting rid of him is like hiring two good guys. That's the thing. So
well, and I think it's important that we all continue to learn. I mean, just like we said earlier, to grow. It's always important to learn to grow in our marriage, and it makes us stronger together, like we talked about earlier with the teamwork. And so that brings us to, we're going to be sharing one more video. So in the next video, we're actually going to get into a little bit more about grit and what we share, because there's some really good things about grit. Sometimes we think of grit as only being for the bad things or sticking it out. You just got to stick it out even if you're miserable. But that's really not what grit is about. It's getting to a goal together. And we're going to share some more things about that, because there's some really cool things in the video that we talk about. And so we don't want you to miss that for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. So you're going to get in that next video, you're going to get how it works. So
yes, the how it works is really important.
Yeah, how this video series course works, and how it's how it's delivered to you, and those kind of things, the benefit of that. So So anyways, but with that, our last thing we want to leave you with is comment below. Comment on some things and tips that you have had in your life, in your marriage, about teamwork in your marriage. Share those with folks, out there. They will get a lot out of it too, and let them know what has worked for you, because we're helping each other, and that's a good thing. So we appreciate y'all staying with us. We appreciate y'all checking out and being interested in Marriage with Grit, and we're excited about it. So y'all be looking for more. It'll be coming to you. Thank you.